do it, like, I do like it.
I think it's best.
It's
good under the lights, isn't it?
It's cool, isn't it? Like, it's loves it, isn't it?
I mean, we could actually put a headset to them, so we can hear each other anyway.
Can we put all the balls in the ball bag, please?
Ollie, say it with the bag.
Yeah.
He probably came up here once and thought, nah, just sit on there, I ain't moving it.
Makes you try to go out there.
This is good, if I can get these ball balls down.
Yeah.
Great. Make a bit from that Saturday.
One more gun, I think.
The goals will stay in here. It's a bit of a surprise ball and wood at that, but other than that, if you were to take them out, they would have 5 out of the top 8 already by the end of September, which is, they've got to start picking up points now.
Last season, the games are picking up points.
Yeah, and that's what's worrying.
And I thought they were going to again, because they took points up at Forest Green, I thought they were going to take up the fuel.
But in the next couple of weeks, they're away to Eastleigh, and then they're away to Boston next Tuesday, and important games then. They could realistically pick up points against all 3 of them, but
You hope so.
hopefully it happens.
See that like I do, I know, I'm leaving that picture. Hello guys. one-to-ones with his kids.
Oh, okay. Was I man?
Is there?
Dry man.
No, they're Boston kids. One just started coming, so I started.
Oh, okay.
I don't teach at Boston anymore, though.
Yeah.
I do all 4 days at
Gospel.
yeah.
Do you enjoy that? Is it like being in school? What? Just is it the private school?
Prep.
Oh, okay.
Not getting fully on board with it yet.
So is that are you 4 days there and then 1 day on office?
Yeah, or one and do a bit with other schools on Monday
Right.
and then Tuesday to Friday. I'm only there from 10 o'clock. My normal day there is 1:45 to 3:45 or 1:45 to 5.
At Gosfield. So you're there 4 days a week, like afternoons?
They have like events or something and they just pay us extra for me to be there.
Decent contract.
That's right.
Hey, you right?
Hi buddy, you okay?
Yeah, good you.
How'd you find the ladder?
It's alright. We played here last year, but we had a different analyst, so I was messaging him. He's unfortunately gone to Athletics.
Bit warm when I'm here.
He said, I was asking him what the setup was like. He just went, enjoy the ladder now. Come round the corner.
Yeah, there you go.
To be fair, I think when we played him last year, it was like December, January, so it was probably even
worse than
slippier as well. Kind of. I mean, there was a bird's nest halfway up, but I noticed the eggs have gone.
They're gone. So.
Thanks to their set, eh? Frankie Terry's not too
And there's others that are
I think that stretch is good. Needs to be
down a bit.
Finally got given his way. Not on the day.
You'll be able to sit on my screen as well.
What I'll do is I'll count you in with what
Oh, yeah, shoot. For me as well.
I'll count you in to
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and a welcome to the Rare Breed Meat Company Stadium, the home of Braintree Town Football Club, for this
Good evening and welcome to the Rare Breed Meat Company Stadium for this National League Cup tie between Braintree Town and Nottingham Forest. Braintree Town
The team news
on a
this
bit of a
evening for
hard run at the
Nottingham
minute. They've had
Forest.
some tough games
Number 1,
tonight.
Luke Campbell.
I imagine will be
Number 2,
such
and captain,
the same.
Jack Thompson.
Tonight I am not on my own in the
Number 3,
gantry. I'm
Jamie
joined by
Newton.
Michael Minton. Hello
Number
Michael,
4,
how are you?
Gilazar.
Good evening, and welcome. It feels a long
Number
time
5,
since I've been
Justin
here
Hanks.
after a long
Number
summer,
6,
but really
Benjamin
enjoying
Number 7,
being here. Looking
James
forward to
Sinclair.
tonight's game after what was a
Number
really
8,
tough game for
Archie Michael.
Braintree at the weekend
Number
against
9,
a
Levan
title
Silla.
chasing York this
Number 10,
year.
Callum
So
Thompson.
it'll be interesting to
Number
see how they
11,
fare tonight
Val
against
Smith.
a youthful Forest under
And
21
the
side here.
substitutes this evening
Absolutely.
for
So yeah,
Nottingham
Braintree are on a
Forest.
bit of a
Number 12,
losing streak, shall we say, at the
Ian
moment.
Willow.
Hopefully something they can get out of this evening. They are sitting currently 21st in the
Number
National League, which is
14,
the relegation zone,
Number
but they've
15,
played many of the
Sharifi
teams that are currently
Ramayala.
sitting in the playoff positions,
Number
Michael.
16,
So
Blake
another good
Mapira.
test tonight, but obviously
17,
one that
David
I'm sure they're going to grab with
And
hands,
number
and some fringe
18,
players getting a few
Danny
minutes
Stoshko.
as well, which we'll go through the teams
For the line this
as the
evening,
players come out in a couple of
number
minutes
1,
or so.
Mason Terry. Number 2.
Yeah, really, it'd be really interesting to see how Braintree do tonight. They've had a very successful period in the National League Cup. They got all the way to the semi-finals last year, being knocked out by Sutton, who eventually got runners-up, losing to Leeds under-21s in the final there. But they've had a pretty good run of form in it. They won all their games last season, and they've started off with a 2-0 win against Leicester under-21s in the opening fixture of this National League Cup. So they'll be looking to continue that tonight. It's something they're proud of. Being a new cup, they're hopefully going to go a step or two further this year and maybe get their hands on that trophy this year.
Absolutely, and for Nottingham Forest under-21s, it's a contrast, and they lost 2-0 in their first National League Cup. Just a reminder that obviously the Premier League 2 teams will only play against the National League teams and vice versa. They will not play against teams from their same divisions. They lost 2-0 to Boreham Wood. We'll have the way Boreham Wood are going at the minute, Michael. I think most teams are losing to them, including Braintree just a few weeks ago. The teams are in the tunnels. We've got some mascots waiting for them over there. A fantastic experience. And Buddy the Boar as well, Michael.
Yeah, really good to see. New venture for Braintree, bringing out the mascot, and he's been ever present. If you follow any of the socials from Braintree, he is getting himself around and really publicising the club, which for this level and standard is really important to get fans through the door, build up a rapport with fans, and hopefully that carries on into the league and the cup and drive them forward in the coming season.
Absolutely, the officials and players are now making their way to the centre of the pitch, so it's a good time for us to go through the team. So I will start with Braintree Town here, and in goal, unchanged, he's played every minute of the National League so far and the National League Cup, is Mason Terry. He's got a back four here, we believe, of Aidan Francis Clark and George Langston, the captain, as the two centre-backs, with Jacob Pinnington and Frankie Terry as his full-backs. In midfield, it looks like it'd be a Moray and Vennings, with Hockey as the lone striker, and behind him will be Cooper, Kamara and Hubbard. So a youthful Braintree team as well, Michael. We will go through the Nottingham Forest team as well. We'll just do those in number order, because obviously we don't know too much about their formation, but we're trying to work that out. Michael's usually good at that throughout the game. We've got Luke Campbell in goal, number 1. Number 2 is Jack Thompson, the captain. Number 3 is Jamie Newton. Number 4 is Nwusu. Number 5 is Justin Hanks. Number 6, Benjamin Hammond. Number 7, James Sinclair. Number 8, Archie Whitehall. Number 9, Lamine Silla. Number 10, Callum Thompson. Number 11, Fuad Smith. And on the bench for both teams, for Braintree, there's Miranda, Babbage, Harriman and Ivanov. And for Nottingham Forest, there's Willows, Bradshaw, Sana, Babayaya, McClure, Mox and Anzito. The players are just finishing their last little parts of their warm-up here, and we'll be underway very shortly. There is a small smattering of Nottingham Forest shirts I've seen in the crowd so far. Obviously a lower attendance than most league games here, but it looks like it could be fairly well attended on this blustery Tuesday night, Michael.
Yeah, but wind has died down a little bit, but still blustery here, and temperatures definitely dropping, but probably a perfect game for the footballers out there. A little bit cooler than the warm weather we were having in August, so I'm sure they'll be relishing the challenge tonight. The pitch is looking in really good condition here, is something that Braintree are pretty proud of. Their groundsman does a fantastic job here, and hopefully the players will relish playing on that pitch.
Yeah, he was probably one of the only ones that did enjoy all that rain on Saturday.
Yeah, he was probably
just about dry
very grateful after a long dry summer. So yeah, a great place for the under-21s to come and visit here, and it's a really good learning experience for every team that comes here. We've had Leicester this season and now Nottingham Forest, and we hope they enjoy their experience, and it's really good for their learning, Craig. Obviously many of them trying to break into reserves, first team and so on, so this is a key part of their development here, and just to get an understanding of men's football and the physicality and what entails even at National League level, with some outstanding teams at National League level now. A lot of them fighting for a very small spattering of League 2 spaces, and they're all fighting for. So it's a really good experience for them. We hope they enjoy it here tonight, and
just not too much.
We look forward to hopefully seeing some good football on show, as Leicester did show in the first game.
Yeah, absolutely. The Leicester game was an enjoyable one. It's a good chance for Braintree to have a look at some players as well. Manny Moray hasn't had 2 minutes. Hubbard's been out the squad a little bit. Hockey's been a fringe player. Pinnington as well. So there's players in there getting some minutes down. The more experienced, like John Akinde, he's just having the evening off, effectively watching his side as Forest get us underway here. It's a long diagonal ball towards the left back. He's made the first connection, but Pinnington does pick up the second ball and breaks away from one challenge, but not the second.
Yeah,
good feet here for the number 11.
Really smart play there. Good battling, fair battling all the way back to
Hanks,
number 5. Hanks here looks to go forward. Kamara Jr. picks it up. Has had a bright start to his Braintree career, and the same says for Hubbard there, who had an electric start in the first game of the season in a fantastic 3-0 win, and has just tailed off a little bit since, but we'll hopefully be looking to rediscover a little bit of form tonight in this National League Cup fixture here for Braintree, as it looks like.
I'm 99% sure the line I flagged the other way there, Michael, but no one seems to have noticed at the moment, and it will be a Braintree throw in, which they're going to look to load as soon as possible with Langston. It's a good long throw. First connection is by a Forest head though, and it's away, and there's a chance for Forest to break here, and it's Thompson. He's been pulled back quite nicely there by Braintree, and he's been delayed, and Hockey has now lost possession after initially winning it. It's a great turn there from number 4, Nwusu, who the ball wasn't so good out to his left back.
Commentators curse there at his best.
Lovely turn, poor pass out towards his left back there, Newton.
Both teams just feeling themselves out here. George Langston, the captain, back in the team after his earlier suspension, then being left out. Maybe Steve Pitt just trying to send a little bit of a message there. Hubbard, tight control in the centre as he comes back to Venin. So good to have him back in the side as well after an early injury. After, again, a promising start to the season. Braintree just picking up a few injuries and suspensions along the way, which I don't think has helped in recent weeks.
I think the squad's missing about 7 at the moment for a squad that's quite a small size. That is a very large number, and a number you want to be hopefully getting some of them back in the next few weeks.
Yeah, number 5 there. Hanks all the way back to his goalkeeper Campbell, under a little bit of pressure, but clears. George Langston always going to win that header up against the number 10 Thompson. And the ball just flies past us here, and it looks as though it's going to be a throw and just around the halfway line.
I was ready to get my elbows up there, Mike, and beat you to the header if
as long as I don't fall off the balcony here, that's fine. Throw in nice and quickly from Pinnington, getting the ball back into play to his captain Langston there. Langston looking long, hasn't got the big man John Akinde to aim for today. Something different up front. It'll be interesting to see if that's still the same ploy.
Kamara's pinched it here, and Braintree are breaking into the box, and Kamara with good feet, he cuts it across. Cooper's touch maybe lets him down. It was a heavy pass to him, but a good touch, and he'd have got a shot on goal. And Pinnington now trying to isolate his man 1v1. He's found a little bit of space, cuts the ball across, but it is well cut out, but not completely away. And Manny Amore picks the ball up and plays into Hubbard's feet. It's very tight in there, but some good interchanging football. And Pinnington now settles for the throw in here. But if Cooper's touch could have been a little bit better there, Michael,
yeah,
we could have took the lead.
Definitely could have been in there. Nottingham Forest just struggling to clear their lines a little bit. A couple of rash swings at the ball, but Braintree still keeping the pressure on here with Pinnington just down to our right hand side into Hubbard with a little bit of a loose touch. But it's going to be another Braintree throw, which we expect Langston to come forward here. It's a Braintree ploy, this. They do like the long throw typically, but without the height of John Akinde, especially
Tommy Smith,
who had real danger and presence in there. But the tactic remains. George Langston here with the throw. It's deep. Forest head out first, all the way back out to Langston. He takes a touch. Positive, a great cross across all the way over, and it looks like it's going to go out for a Nottingham Forest throw. I couldn't see if the Forest goalie got any touch on that, but referee says no, and it's going to be a Forest throw here. Great, just going to Braintree. One of their most successful ploys is start quick, start fast, grab an early goal. It tends to get the fans on their side. Is that something they're going to be looking at tonight? Maybe grab that early goal, just maybe knock a little bit of confidence out of this young Forest side?
Yeah, I think especially against these young sides, if you can score early, they may be a little bit demoralised, but it's definitely been a factor of the game. Braintree scored after just 3 minutes on Saturday. They also scored the earliest goal in the National League this season on match day 1. So yeah, it's definitely a ploy to maybe take some risks in that first 5 minutes, and it seems to be getting rewards from that. But it was Forrest in possession here. It's good interchange. Number 10 seems to be getting on the ball quite nicely here, Thompson. It's good interchange, and eventually it's hit against number 8, who's done well to ease Hubbard under the ball. Quite easy there, and buys the free kick from Hubbard. That's good recovery play there from Whitehall, who's picked up the possession, and it will give Nottingham Forest a chance to load this one into the box. Obviously, maybe a club going for a little bit of transition, Michael, with a new first team manager. It'd be interesting if his philosophy tries to be aligned throughout the whole of the club.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting to see what's happening at Nottingham Forest at the moment, but I don't see too much change at the moment. I don't think he's going to filter down to this level at the moment, especially with the job he's got on in the first team. But yeah, definitely interesting to see what happens in the long run there. Some battling play there, nothing. Referee has decided to give a foul. Didn't look too much in there, but nothing from the linesman. The referee very decisive there, Craig, which Braintree definitely lacked on Saturday, which you don't mind them decisions, even if you don't necessarily agree with them. It was very clear, concise, and something that I think we can enjoy as commentators.
Yeah, I think Silla was the meat in the sandwich there. I think if it was only from one side, they might have got away with that one, Braintree, but he was tackled from both sides. Probably stepped across him a little bit too harshly, and the free kick was giving us a chance for them to load it. They have got some height for some young lads. Silla, as we just mentioned, probably the tallest of them. I'm currently standing in an offside position, but they'll be looking to maybe change the angle or straight in, maybe bouncing awkwardly in there, but it was well cleared in the end, and number 3's eyes lit up for a minute, but he's chose to recycle it and overlap number 11 here, Smith, who cuts inside, probably trying to beat too many men, and does eventually give it away to Pennington, who now finds Vennins. Back to Francis Clark, who plays into Cooper. Cooper out to Terry, and Braintree played out quite nicely there. A long ball played towards Freddie Hockey, who's going to put his defender Thompson, the captain, under pressure, and has bought his team a throw-in just in line with the penalty box, which Cooper's chooses to get on quickly. Finds Hubbard, who then finds Vennins. Vennins into Hockey, who turns, and I think Hockey has handballed that while he's on the floor. Referee's not interested. There was no protest for a penalty, but it did look like a handball from him when he was originally on the floor, but the referee's decided to play on.
Yeah, I think just a stumble there in the box, and I think the way he landed, he couldn't put his hand anywhere else, so the referee has no option but to play on there, because no intent, and he has to balance himself. But yeah, all the way through, great defensive header there by the captain.
Amore wanted that a little bit more though, and he's got into a good position, and he's got Cooper. Amore's given the arrow, he's chosen not to use it. He's played Vennins. It's kind of filtered out for a moment, the attack, and it has even more so now as they've given the ball away, but they have turned it back over, and Frankie Terry's in a little bit of space. He's now been doubled up on, which gives Vennins a little bit of space, but a poor pass from Hubbard originally, and they've now reset through the centre-backs. First Francis Clark on to Langston.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest just not keeping the ball well enough. They're either passing the ball out of defence or clearing their line successfully, so they're going to need to sort something out there, because otherwise they might get caught eventually by Braintree, and they do tend to press quite high here as Newton picks the ball up.
And Wusu did have his eye a little bit better there than his earlier pass, and managed to find Newton this time. Overhit passes give Langston a chance to put Hockey in a little bit of a race here. His touch has slowed things down slightly, but he has managed to set Zahid Kamara, who now enters the Nottingham Forest box. He cuts back onto his left foot, shots away, it's a comfortable save, it's only parried, and Cooper turns it home. For me, Michael, the keeper's got to do a little bit better there. He's pushed it back into play, but Shaker seems to love this cup. He always seems to score. He's second in the cup this year.
First goal scorer for Braintree Town this evening, number 11,
Kamara cuts in from the right. It's onto his left foot, and it's pushed back out by Campbell. He's got to push that away further, in my opinion. But then Cooper turns it home, and an early start, and it's 1-0 Braintree.
Yeah, really, really positive. Hockey, first of all, just tight control and managing to just nick the ball to get it all the way through to Kamara, who, from our eyes here, always looked to want to get in on that left foot. Wasn't the greatest strike, as Craig has said, straight down the keeper's throat, and he may be a little bit disappointed that he wasn't able to parry it out a little bit further. But a good start, Cooper in the box again. You have to be there to score. They are the ones that often get forgotten about, but an early start from Braintree again here in the opening 10 minutes here, so 1-0 Braintree against a youthful Nottingham Forest side, but still plenty of time to go here. But yeah, from going back to Nottingham Forest just before that goal, they were neither clearing their lines or keeping possession, so they need to try and figure out something. Are they going to play long? Are they going to keep the ball and work their way through? But other than that, it's a good start from Braintree here, one they would have wanted in a cup that they really enjoy playing in.
Be interesting to see how Nottingham Forest react to conceding early, or they go into their shells. As a very young team. There's a lovely raking ball there from Langston, has found Cooper, who will probably be full of confidence now. He's found Frankie Terry. It's a nice turn, but the referee's not interested in that, and Frankie Terry didn't really protest. So the referee's played on as Francis Clark sweeps it up nicely and goes back home towards Mason Terry, who will be hoping for a quieter evening than some of the days he's had recently in the Braintree goal. He's conceded quite a few, but he's been getting all the plaudits as well, Michael.
Yeah, he's actually. Yeah, I thought he was very shaky in that first game, although he saved the penalty. But since then, he's been really, really positive. He's been a lot more vocal. Seems to have settled down a little bit. Maybe he just needed a bit of time to getting used to a new back four, and a lot of changes over the summer here at Braintree for him and the club. So. I'm glad he's settled down. He's been really positive as the number 9 here, Silla, just nicks the ball here. A little bit sloppy there from Francis Clark. A great press there from the Nottingham Forest striker as the number 8 here, Whitehall, picks it up. Seeing plenty of touches in the centre of that midfield, which is something they need to do a bit more of. Number 10 here, really, really tricky, great play. Brilliant tackle by Pennington, who times it well, clears his lines. Really positive defending there, but smart play from Thompson there, just down the left here, and that's a positive sign. He didn't get the best of him this time, but he's up against a solid defender, and it's good to see that he's trying those things on the front foot there from Forest. That's Campbell.
Long ball here from Campbell. Silla does make the first connection and then brings it down quite nicely, and he's judged to be pulled down there by him, unfortunately not for him by the referee. And Langston, he seems to be playing a lot of forward passes early. Maybe that's part of that ploy early, we said, Michael. He almost tries to turn Nottingham Forest quite a lot, and he makes a crucial interception there, although Thompson's touch may have been quite heavy. It almost actually put him in a really good position. It's a lovely touch from Kamara. Unfortunately for him, it was 7 yards off the pitch, so that'll be Newton here to take the throw. Notice Whitehall especially here, always dropping into spaces to get on the ball, as he does now.
Yeah, I'd like to see that from the centre midfielder. They are someone that needs to be an option every time, all about the pitch. So the more he does that and the more he can link up the play, I'm sure Nottingham Forest will get a lot of success for that. So it's a positive start from him as the offside flag goes up against Silla, who again has had a lively start, a positive start there, up against a tough operator in George Langston with plenty of experience at this level. So a really good test for him there. Number 10 here, just battling for the ball, not getting nothing out of that there, Thompson. As Langston looks long, the ball's over. Number 5 there, a little bit of luck there, Hanks. Not quite sure he meant that, as they look forward to Silla again, who wins another header. Really, really positive start there. Shame there's no one really to support him, but if they can get bodies around him.
He's a little bit isolated,
yeah,
but
he is.
What you've seen from him so far has been that he will win them first connections. It might give the likes of Thompson or Smith or Sinclair just to think, oh, I will have a bit of a gamble, because he has been winning the couple, especially against Francis Clark. As Langston plays that raking diagonal again, but with no success this time.
Yeah, number 6 there, Hammond, just winning the ball in the centre of midfield. Plenty of height and size in there. A key part of their midfield there, them two that we've spoken about. As number 5 plays it all the way back to his captain, then back to Hanks here. Out to his left back, Newton. And Nottingham Forest decide to clip their lines. George Langston, Braintree captain under that. Pretty obvious pushing the back there from Whitehall into the back of Vennings. But that's going to be a key battle in there, Craig. I think the experienced, cool operator of Vennings there, who doesn't give the ball away too much, up against Whitehall, could be a key battle today in this game, and potentially the outcome of this game if they can get some dominance in midfield.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer if James Vennings and Marlon Miranda obviously is on the bench, they play well for Braintree. It gives them such a better chance. They were excellent against York, hit them two and Babbage, but unfortunately for Braintree, York kicked on as a poor pass from Hubbard is there turned out, and it's a good ball in, and it's number 8 cuts it across So deflected off Francis Clark with Silla waiting. It was a good run from Whitehall. As we talked about playing a little bit deeper, but he knew when to go there and linked well with Thompson. But for Braintree, Francis Clark was in the right place and it deflected home to his goalkeeper. A long kick there, won by Nottingham Forest, who are enjoying after that goal, Michael. Quite a good spell here of possession.
Yeah, been really, really positive as the ball played through there. Langston on his toes there against the sprightly Thompson from the Nottingham Forest left wing. And yeah, Nottingham Forest just having a little bit more luck here. They're winning the ball higher up the pitch. Just having a little bit more of the possession here, which is something they've actually lacked in their Premier League 2 campaign so far. They've only played 3 games, obviously still very early, but they are the lowest in terms of the possession percentage, with just under 40%. So something that isn't their forte, maybe, or something
not quite
that
the 9% that you saw Burnley had in a spell on Sunday.
So maybe that's why they're maybe struggling to get out a little bit and playing out, and maybe why they're deciding to go a little bit longer, a little bit earlier to the big man Silla up front, who's having some success in this opening 20 minutes or so.
Langston plays into Hubbard's feet. Poor touch from Kamara though, and it's now allowed them to get out, but Pennington just uses his experience to ease his man out of the way and plays back. And Cooper is coming off this left-hand side to pick up some spaces. Does mean there is no outball other than Frankie Terry, where it looks like it might go in a minute. Langston chose to go there, and it's been very fortunate he's bounced into Vennings in a good position. It's a good ball into Cooper, as we said, who's come off that left-hand side. He's looking to get his shot away. He's eventually recycled it with, again, a fortunate deflection to Amore, who receives the ball back again from Frankie Terry.
Yeah, Braintree's turn to just have a little bit of possession here in the Nottingham Forest half after a positive period for Nottingham Forest, as that ball has gone out, and it is going to be a Braintree throw here. Still 1-0 here to Braintree against Nottingham Forest under-21s at the Rare Breed Meat Stadium on a pretty perfect evening for some football here. Nice and cool under the lights here, as the number 10, who again has been positive, Thompson on the ball, cuts it back to his left back Newton, tries to get something across, and Braintree managed to clear their lines, but it will be a Nottingham Forest throw here, quite deep into the Braintree half. Nottingham Forest just seem to have settled down pretty much since the goal, to be fair, and I think the manager will be very happy with how his team have reacted here. His young side against a mixture of experience and youth in the Braintree team tonight. A little bit wasteful there from the goalkeeper Campbell, who just kicks the ball out of play here, just down to our left-hand side.
He'd be pleased to have a quieter 10 minutes, shall we say, after the goal. It will give him a chance just to rebuild that confidence that probably was knocked a little bit after the save inevitably, but not the strongest of palms away, as Vennings wins the ball, but it turns out to Silla here. Sorry, put Silla through here, could be through on goal. He will get there first off. Frankie Terry, Mason Terry, sorry, confusing over the two there. He's just got there first. It's a good ball from Smith over the top, but Silla nearly judged it perfectly, and Mason Terry, for Braintree's sake, just got there before him, or it could have been a potential red card situation for him if he mistimed that, but timed it just right there, Michael.
Yeah, really, really positive, as we was talking about earlier. He might not have been like that in the opening couple of weeks, but he's really settled down recently. Some really good goalkeeping, but again, we've spoken about Silla quite a lot in this opening period, and he looks like the danger man. He looks like the one that the Braintree backline are going to have to be very wary of, and they're going to have to try and stop him. He's won a few headers, and he's showed a good turn of pace there in behind, so he's got a little bit of everything about him, which will cause some problems for Braintree over the course of this game if he can keep being fed and the supply line keeps going to him as it was there. So a lot more positive from Nottingham Forest.
It's good interchange here though from Cooper and Hubbard. Back to Cooper. Hubbard wants the ball to return to him again, and it has been just outside the box. He's now doubled up, and Cooper manages to find Frankie Terry. It's good interchange, and it's been turned behind for, I believe, the first corner of the evening, which will be a Braintree Town corner, and a chance for the likes of Langston, Francis Clark to go forward here as well.
Yeah, probably Nottingham Forest defender will be disappointed he gave the corner away there. Probably a throw on should have been what
has been taken quickly, and it's gone into James Vennings' feet, into Fletcher Hubbard, and it's kind of filtered out here, unless he can get an angle for a delivery, which he has created for Cooper. And it's actually a very nice pass into Kamara with a bit of disguise on it. Kamara hangs on up to the back stick, Langston climbed it but couldn't get there. It's out to Vennings. I think his eyes have lit up and it's well blocked in the end. And Cooper just kind of letting the momentum go out of this before playing into Kamara's feet. Kamara finds Amore, who's made a good run off the back of his man. Someone you probably want more in the box than delivering though. And it'll be Howard that delivers. It's not a particularly good cross. And the clearance has found Nottingham Forest's feet, but Cooper picks up the first ball.
Yeah, again, Nottingham Forest just struggling to get out here, not clearing their lines or not keeping the ball. Seems to be a problem they've got here at the moment. After a good spell of possession further up the field, so in the final third and in the Braintree half, they're keeping the ball really well and looking really positive, but defensively they're just struggling to get out a little bit and inviting a lot of pressure from Braintree here as Kamara does well, looks after the ball, some tricky feet there. Really good. He's always looking to get on his left foot though, Craig.
Yeah, and I think eventually he was looking for the foul. It's a fantastic turn from Silla though, and he's got some yards in front of him. It looks like he's going to break into the box. He's now doubled up on his cut across, and Pennington does well to get his body in front. He did turn it behind for a corner, but then there was a foul on him, and I think Pennington's in a little bit of distress here. And I think he did have a little word here with, I believe it's Thompson as he was approaching the box there, who just caught him, but Thompson had every right to go for it, I think, Michael, and I think he just caught him on the shin. A sore one, but for Braintree's sake, hopefully he'll be up very shortly, although he is, it looks like he's kind of arriving in a little bit of pain.
It does look like he's in a little bit of pain there. It looks pretty innocuous from up here, so maybe it was more of a potential twist or the way he landed after the tackle potentially. The medic is on, but the last thing Braintree are going to want is to lose any more players after, as you said earlier, the injuries and the suspensions they've had.
Yeah, I'll rattle through that list now, Michael, and you can tell me if I've missed any. So defensively, I believe Tommy Smith, Ryan Clampin, Kyle Smith.
Yeah.
Midfield, you've got Elliot Thorpe.
Yeah.
You've got Alan Judge, Tom Blackwell and Lewis Walker all missing through injury at the moment. So there'd be concerns if Pennington does have to miss some games, because especially for him, he's only just managed to get himself into the 11 as well.
Yeah, and Braintree, something they really pride themselves on is a strong defensive record. Hasn't quite been the same this year, but again, they've played 6 of the top 8 this year in the National League, so they've had a pretty tough opening to the season. And like you say, they just sit in the relegation zone at the moment. But defensively, last season they were pretty solid. They were up there with actually the title chasers and the playoffs chasing teams last season for defensive records. So it's something they've actually been really good at. So they're not going to want to lose too many more defenders there. But seemed pretty innocuous, to be fair. But brilliant play from Silla in the first place. Again, that real turn of pace to beat his man and drive forward. Every time he's got an opportunity, he's looking to fill the space and really get his team up the pitch. And it was good supporting play from Thompson. The option was there. So Nottingham Forest will be quite pleased with how they've reacted since the Braintree goal. Braintree not quite having it their own way here as the teams come back onto the pitch here, and the free kick just on the edge of the Braintree area here going to be taken by the goalkeeper Mason Terry.
Yeah, the chance as we get pretty much halfway through the first half, just for both teams to maybe have a quick tactical kind of rejig or a chat to just see what's going well and what their managers would like to improve on. Obviously Pennington now, because there was no yellow card, has to be off for 30 seconds, which I don't know about you, Michael, but annoyed me in the Premier League that they were getting frustrated that the commentators were that players were not being taken off for 30 seconds, whereas if there's a caution, the player doesn't have to go off.
Yeah.
I thought they'd known that in the Premier League, but that's just me.
Pennington just down below us here, just waiting to come back on. The referee not letting him quite back onto the pitch yet. I don't think the ball's been in play for 30 seconds here.
And Moray's been filling. There is a foul there, I believe, on Cooper, is it? And Frankie Terry, I think, is down, sorry. But Braintree have chose to play on with Cooper and the ball, so it's definitely not him that's down.
Oh, he's still going ahead here. Look, Frankie Terry just getting to his feet ever so gingerly here. Referee's just going to stop play. It looks like he is going to be showing a yellow card here, just to the number 4, I believe
that's in Wusu.
Yeah, it looks like he's picked up the first yellow card of the game there. The referee let play go on really well and has brought it back here, and Wusu picks up the first yellow card of the game here.
Yeah, it was quite late. There was no malice in it. He just took his legs after he'd played the pass, and the referee looked to play the advantage, but ultimately Braintree kind of killed the tempo because they had a player down, and once he was back on his feet, it was a possession to Nottingham Forest. But a good referee in there, Michael, and I'm pleased to be able to say that off.
Yeah, really, he's been really good, to be fair, today. So praise them. They get plenty of stick, and rightly so. I thought it was a pretty poor performance on Saturday from the referee, but a positive start from one today. And he's got good control of the game, and the game's been played really well and in the right spirit at the moment, which is good to see from both sides. Mason Terry just clips the ball out to Pennington, who was just stretching a little bit there. The ball goes over Kamara. Number 5 under real pressure there. Hanks just about keeps the ball away from Hockey.
Got a shot just in time there, I think. He maybe hadn't checked his shoulder, and Hockey appeared from almost nowhere, and he looks like he could have pinched there from Hockey. It looks to me, Michael, he just puts that little bit more bite in his challenges. He gets in good positions to hit the ball. It's a fantastic turn from Silla again, and he's won the free kick off Aidan Francis-Scott. Hasn't maybe had as many handfuls as Silla this season. He's been excellent this season, Francis Clark, but Silla's becoming a real handful.
Yeah, he is really positive. Referee just stopping the game again. It looks like he wants the Nottingham Forest free kick to be taken in an exact spot, which is could be frustrating when so many gets taken.
Just while we've got a little bit of a long mark, I think we could talk about obviously the point system in this. So it's 3 points for a win, 0 if you lose. Very obvious, those two. If it is a draw, it will go to penalties, and the winners of the penalties will then be awarded 2 points rather than just the one, which the opposition who lose will. Always enjoy a penalty shootout, but it's a bit chilly up here, so be happy to get home straight after the full-time whistle as well. So the ball's played into Silla's feet, and he's managed to play it out wide, and it's a good overlap here from Sinclair, who we haven't spoke of too much. He's cut in, he's delivered an overhit ball maybe, and Pennington gets it away well, but it's only as far as the man who's just been booked. And a little bit of miscommunication here, and I think he was thinking about potentially bringing Kamara down. I think he did catch him from behind, but not in the eyes of the referee. And Kamara's still down here. I think it was a little, I don't think it's a deliberate breakdown his Achilles, but I think that might be what he's holding at the moment. And Nottingham Forest sportingly put the ball out for him.
Yeah, it did look like a potential foul there. It looked like maybe a tangle of legs there more than anything. Could have been, often you see them given as fouls, but he was in a little bit of pain. He looks like he's going to be okay there. It looks like it was more of a kick than a twist or a sprain or anything. So hopefully, after a bit of medical attention, he will be back on his feet. He has made again a positive start to the game today with his shot that the goalkeeper parried for Cooper to fire in 1-0 here. Just as we approach around the 28-29 minute mark here, around 15 minutes, but I suspect there'll be a few minutes added on here for the stoppages due to the medical treatment. So
yeah, it's been a little bit stop-start, I'd say, Michael, and we haven't really had any chances since the goal. Probably the only chance we've had in the game, and Cooper buried it. It wasn't a particularly difficult finish for him, but like you said, it's a skill to be in the right place at the right time as well, and he took it, and he'd be delighted. He's been in and out the National League team for the last year and a half that he's been here, really. But whenever he's got his chance in this National League club, he's always taken it. He's got a fantastic goal against Leicester in the first round of fixtures, and he's added to it with an easier one today, but a skill nonetheless, and a chance for both managers here to get their points across the team, although it's only Braintree players that have gone over there in it. Nottingham Forest are kind of just in their little mini huddles, just having a little bit of a chat as Kamara gets back to his feet, and again it will be 30 seconds off, and it will be a Braintree throw-in down in front of us, but obviously we expect them to just roll the ball back to Nottingham Forest, and the game will be back underway. But yeah, I'm expecting probably 4 or 5 minutes of additional time.
I'd probably agree here. Hopeful to see just a little bit more from the Nottingham Forest down their right hand side. Not a lot has happened down there. There's been quite a lot of activity with Silla just linking up down this left hand side with Thompson here, just down in front of us, just in front of Kamara here. There's been quite a lot of link up and quite a lot of success and joy. It seems to be their channel of attack, so it'd be interesting to see if they can add a little bit more threat from the right hand side at the moment, which we haven't seen a lot of, but maybe we'll get to see a little bit more in the second half when the right hand side of Forest will be attacking just down in front of us. As the ball is sportingly thrown back, Silla there definitely in an offside position, decided not to go for it. He made his run, but the ball didn't quite come quick enough as Mason Terry picks the ball up here, looking to get Braintree started here and hopefully just up the tempo a little bit. I think this actually probably suits Nottingham Forest at the moment. They're still in it, there's still plenty of time, and one mistake, one chance, and maybe if it falls to the lively Silla, I'm sure his eyes will light up and looking to get his team back into this. So Braintree just got to be careful here for the remainder of this half, but they don't just fall to sleep. With Nottingham Forest definitely been, I would say, the better side since the goal's gone in, Craig.
Yeah, like we said, nothing clear cut by any means for either team. No missed chances, no great saves. But yeah, in terms of the patterns, probably Forest have edged it, but ultimately the one that matters is the scoreline, and that's 1-0 to Braintree at the moment. As Langston tries to play long again, it's actually bounced rather fortuitously here for Sinclair, the right wing back, who's delivered a good cross, and it's gone all the way across after Aidan Francis-Clark missed it. Silla maybe a little bit flat-footed, didn't quite get onto the end of it. As it's played long towards Hockey, who's not been in the game at all, really, Michael.
No, really quiet. That ball is not suited to him. He's being sort of out-muscled and aerially being outdone as the ball falls here for Hockey. A snapshot just whispered over the crossbar there. That was what we were talking about earlier, Craig. Nottingham Forest just not clearing their lines, and although Hockey hasn't been great today, hasn't won much in terms of his battles, hasn't looked like scoring, a defensive mix up there by the two centre backs there gave him a chance. It was a rasping shot that really tested Campbell and just flew over his crossbar there. Could have been 2-0 Braintree. The score stays at 1-0 there.
It was Thompson and Hanks that just got in the right mix up first with a couple of poor connections, and then they got right in each other's way. They were both trying to take the lead, but without really being too dominant. And Hockey got a shot away, and it would have been very ironic after I said he's not been in the game to see his name on the score sheet. As Venins holds up his man really well there and buys the throw-in off Smith. But yeah, probably the first shot we've had in anger in the last 25 minutes or so.
It has been very quiet since the goal, which, like I just said, Nottingham Forest will probably be quite happy with to come back into it. You can easily go 2-3-0 down against teams in the National League, and then it's a long way back against some experience. So they'll be quite happy with what they've done since the goal, but could have easily have been 2-0 down there if Hockey had his shooting boots on. But hopefully we see a little bit more of Hockey in that role there. He looked a bit more switched on after what's been a pretty disappointing 30 minutes up top there. The ball all the way back to Mason, who's looking for Kamara here. The number 3, Newton, just wins that well. Hockey here brings it down. Amore, who's, I think he started really well in there alongside Venins, done a lot of the dirty work and actually kept the ball really well. As Langston shows his experience and strength there against Thompson. But yeah, the game's settled down here. It's a lot of it is being played in the middle third of the pitch here, and neither team are really getting any success at the moment going forward. As the ball is played out to Thompson here on the left hand side, drives, looks to come inside, well-timed challenge there from Langston. The ball fired inside, it's all a little bit scruffy there. Smith just looking to try and get the shot off, but again, high press from Nottingham Forest. It's a lot better, and they are just starting to pick up the tempo a little bit and put Braintree under a bit more pressure, Craig. Yeah,
it was good play to win it back high from Newton in front of us, who alongside Silla has probably been one of the strongest players in that side. There's a lovely ball here from Cooper's played towards Kamara. This is the kind of situation he wants, although it did bounce up too high for him, and Hanks coming across and just nodded it off for a throw-in, which might give George Langston a chance to load it, but I don't think he's interested at the moment. But yeah, it was good from them, and then it kind of petered out, and Smith got a toe-poke finish that I think, even if Mason Terry weren't there, it wouldn't have reached the goal. But yeah, I think Fletcher Hubbard, was a bit annoyed with the referee because he made a good run a moment ago and ran straight into the back of the referee. So he's not done everything right, this referee.
We'll let him off after what's been a good refereeing appointment today so far, and performance as the ball just played out there. Looks like it's going to be a Braintree throw, which George Langston looks like he's going to come forward for this one, so they are going to set up for the long throw. Referee just telling Langston to go forward a little bit, if anything here. Pinnington, the only one in any real defensive shape. Pretty much the majority of the Braintree team are going to be in this area in a few moments. Kamara just offering the short option, the throws in, flicked on, a little bit scruffy, and there's the ball, bounces. Nottingham Forest managed to clear their lines here. Can they get out? No, Hubbard picks it up, a brilliant touch there. Nottingham Forest better defensively there, cleared their lines, got their team up and squeezed the game a little bit better and stopped Braintree coming straight back out.
Although Braintree did make the first and second collections in the box there, so they will be a little bit of a worry for them, but once they did deal with it, they dealt with it much better, and it wasn't just coming back towards them. There's a good play from Silla again, and he's got the chance to get in behind Francis Clark, and he has. Francis Clark just managed to slow him down slightly, but he has got a man overlapping now in Sinclair. He's chosen not to use him and deliver himself. They slightly overhit. I think that probably the players inside were expecting to use that overlap as Sahid Kamara tries to run against Luton here. And then Silla, Nawusu, who we believe got booked earlier. We weren't 100% sure if it was him or Smith. I believe Twitter pages have given it to Smith, but we think it was Nawusu, so we're going to go with what we've gone for in a minute, and
we'll try and
if someone gets one later, it'll be a lot easier to clean it up. But ball's back to Langston here. Back to Mason Terry as this half is kind of petering out. It struggled to get going, I'd say, Michael, as a contest, but I was here on Saturday for a 5-goal thriller, slips, mistakes, penalties, dodgy referees' decisions, and a little bit of everything, so maybe I'm judging a little bit harshly at the moment.
Can't have every game like that, unfortunately. A brilliant game against a very heavily fancied York team here, as Braintree and Hockey in particular just looking. Che Cooper has been very lively, probably been the most lively in terms of the Braintree front line there. Does give the ball away, commentator's curse again. Silla just having a battle there up against a really tough operator with Francis Clark, but I think he's doing a really good job up there so far, and he's causing them a lot of problems, and that says something against the calibre of defenders that Braintree do have here. So Che Cooper just flicking it on there. Hockey much better there, keeping hold of the ball on his toes there, linking the play really well. St John Akinde does brilliantly there. Kamara here again looking to cut back in on his left hand side, tries to beat his man once and twice, doesn't get much luck out of that. The ball spinning in play, managed to just stay in play miraculously there just below us as Pennington uses his body really well. Kamara cuts inside, looking to get it in. Che Cooper, a little bit of a loose touch there in the box. The number 2 comes across, Thompson the captain. It is going to be a Braintree corner here.
Yeah, so we're approaching around 38 minutes on the clock here. This is probably just the second corner for Braintree. The first one didn't amount to anything. Kamara has given a short option for Cooper, but it looks like he will deliver it, and there's a bit of a Braintree train forming on the edge of the box as they all now break into position. Cooper's played it along the floor to Hockey, who's missed his kick, and he's recovered it quite nicely though, and it's shelled forward by Pennington, first connection, and it's now given Forrest a massive chance to counter-attack here. They've got a 3-on-2 if they move it quickly with Smith. Smith going alone, gets his shot away early, and it filters out. You've got to say there though, Michael, that I believe Silla and Thompson in front of him both made the same run.
Yeah,
one of them needed to more go the other way, and again the shot from 25 yards was a pretty poor one, and that attack rather fizzled out after Braintree tried something creative from their corner, and without the missed kick from Freddie Hockey, you obviously never know how it could have gone. But yeah, and then Forrest sprung, but poor decision making. Maybe not from the player on the ball, but the players in front of him maybe made the wrong
really
runs.
Drove forward there with the ball, and then Silla was already on the left hand side, and then the number 10 Thompson made the run to the left hand side as well, which really didn't help. It pretty much meant that he had to go on his own. The shot wasn't great, but again, it is positive from Forest. They did break quickly there, they did have numbers, they did have a 3-on-2, they just didn't get it right that time. But that's something they would probably practice in training 2-3 times a week, and sometimes you're going to get it right, sometimes you ain't. But really it's better from Nottingham Forest, and something that they can keep trying to build on as we approach the end of the first half and go to the second half. From a Braintree point of view, yeah, really good to see some creativity. The ball across though wasn't great. It was nice to see a bit of invention, but it was definitely a bobbler, so a difficult one to connect with there for Braintree. Silla manages to win another flick on there.
Yeah, I think he'd be wondering when a player's going to have a gamble to get past him, because he's won 2 or 3 of them, if not more, without someone really gambling in behind him. It's Cooper's good feet kicks away from his man there, but Braintree, there seems to be kind of no link between that midfield today, which a Miranda or a Babbage would bring. Doesn't seem to be working too well, and Forest will be quite happy despite being behind.
Yeah, I definitely think they will. I think they'll be disappointed sort of going forward that the striker Silla's winning a lot of balls, but they're not winning any second balls, so they need to either get their midfield up a little bit, because they are pretty defensive in there, or they need to get their wingers a little bit closer, because at the moment it's all a little bit stretched, and Silla is winning a lot, he's running a lot, but he's having to do a lot on his own, and that's going to take its toll eventually. So maybe that's something they'll look to tweak in the second half. The clip forward here is easily won by the Nottingham Forest defender here. A great switch of play, again looking for Silla. Little bit of a heavy touch there by Silla, but it was much quicker there from Thompson to look forward for his striker.
Still asking a lot of him, he's still very isolated. Even if his touch was right, he'd have been crowded by 2 or 3 pretty quickly. If they're going to play that early ball to him, someone have a gamble, someone run off him a little bit more, take that risk, because they've won the ball nice and high here though. And here is Whitehall and Owusu linking together there, but they give the ball away here in the ugly side. Owusu would believe has to be careful in these situations. That might be a yellow card for Whitehall coming in now. Referee.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised at that. That was pretty malicious. He looked like he only had one thought in his mind there, and that was to bring Kamara down. I'm pretty surprised after the early booking was given for a pretty similar challenge. So definitely got away with one there. Maybe a little bit disappointed that they got booked in the first half, so maybe they'll feel that it's levelled out a little bit. But yeah, a pretty obvious yellow card there, but not given by the referee there. But no real complaints from Braintree as George Langston looks to play into pinning. A little bit sloppy there from the Braintree captain as Hubbard challenges. And again, number 4, Owusu, doing a battling job in there. Lively down this right hand side for Braintree. They're getting a lot of luck here. Kamara just looking to find a yard here. James Vennings on the edge of the box. Che Cooper, the ball played all the way out to Terry. Again, it's keep ball for Braintree in a really tight position. Lovely little bounce pass there. James Vennings, Hubbard linking up the play. A little bit scruffy. Again, Silla just not keeping the ball there. Probably not the right time for a flick as Braintree come forward again. Braintree looking to get into the box, keeping the ball again. Nottingham Forest just struggling to get out. Braintree ending the half strongly here. Hubbard out to Terry on the left hand side, and Braintree go all the way back. Nottingham Forest staying solid, staying defensively here. Definitely props for that as George Langston looks long towards Hubbard. A little bit different from looking at Johnny Kinde, but Braintree do win a free kick here. It looked like just slightly late on the challenge there. A bit more of a coming together there, Craig. Nothing too innocuous there, but probably a free kick.
Yes, I believe that was actually Sinclair that made the foul, but Whitehall, who got away with a yellow card about a minute or 2 ago, has just talked himself into the book there. So he'll be joining Owusu in the referee's book. So that's the 2 deepest midfielders now, we believe, on yellow cards. But yeah, Cooper just got in there first, and I think it's one of them ones where Sinclair couldn't stop, but because Cooper got there first, he always gets the free kick.
Similar position here from the York free kick screamer on Saturday that you were watching, Craig.
It was a beautiful one.
And hopefully Braintree can replicate that a little bit. A brilliant free kick from the York man there to get his team back into the game.
There we Cooper standing over it. And it's not as nice as the one at the weekend, fortunately. It's hit the post behind the goal, and Campbell was never worried, and it didn't really have any pace, even if it was on target to beat him. If you haven't seen Alex Hunt's one from Saturday, I recommend giving it a YouTube. It was a fantastic free kick, and I told him he's got to bounce it in front of the keeper on a wet surface, and he just whipped it in the top corner.
What do we know, eh?
So what do I know, eh?
Yeah, postage stamp free kick there on Saturday. Nottingham Forest getting the game back underway here as they try to work their way out. They do have a throw-in around midway into the Braintree half, down the Nottingham Forest right-hand side. That's the referee just having a chat there with the number 4, but the game is back underway as we approach the final couple of minutes here Fourth officials board hasn't gone up yet, so we're unsure of the time. We're expecting maybe 2 or 3 minutes added on there after the medical issues for Braintree in particular.
Yeah, both of those players have been up and running since though, so that's good news. I imagine it worried Steve Pitt at the time. As here Newton plays into Nwusu and Whitehall combined, back to Newton again.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 4 minutes.
4 minutes have been added on for this first half. As a poor pass there is cut out by Kamara. He tries to get away, but it's a little bit too tight in front of him on this right hand side.
Yeah, some smart play there, smart feet. He's trying to get out. He has been lively this half, Kamara. Him and Che Cooper definitely been driving Braintree forward down the wings, and they've had a lot of success there. A little bit of pinball in there. Looks like it's going to be a Braintree throw there after a little bit of a squabble. The linesman and the referee sorted it out between them there. Some nice quick officiating. Braintree just looking to settle the game down. I think they'll be quite happy to go in 1-0 up. I think Nottingham Forest overall will be quite happy, although they are 1-0 down. Obviously will not be happy about that, to concede so early, but to settle the game down, Craig, and to have a good foothold in the game will give them a lot of positivity going into the second half.
Yeah, especially in under 21s football playing against men's team. The result isn't ultimately the be all and end all in this. It's the experiences and what they learn, and they've had to learn a bit of resilience from going behind early, and they've reacted in a really good way. Like I said, they've not tested Mason Terry at all though, so that'll be something they'll be looking to do. Maybe having some players gambling off Silla a little bit more, and seeing if some players from the bench can make some impact as well in the second half, as that is a massive part of football, obviously game management and the management in general, bringing players on. As there was a pull there on Smith in the midfield by Venins, and a Nottingham Forest free kick just inside Braintree's half, and they're looking to get it underway straight away here. And the left centre back, sorry, is stepping into midfield, which hasn't happened as much. I thought with a back three, the left and right centre backs trying to join in as much as possible. It's a good interchange here, and Silla's got a yard. It's a weaker pass than probably hoped to Newton, and it has killed a little bit of the momentum in his tap. They've kept it alive now, and it's been swept to the right hand side of Sinclair back to Hammond, who plays a nice reverse ball in, and again Silla tries to link up there with Smith, but the back heel was a little bit soft and it was cleared away. And now Francis Clark stepping up. It's slightly weak towards Cooper, and it's well turned back over by Forest. But Amore's pinched it well in the midfield, and Cooper's got some space and finds Hubbard, but the touch has kind of reset the attack, and it's now gone all the way back to Francis Clark.
That there was Nottingham Forest in a nutshell in 30 seconds. Looking positive in the attack and not quite getting it right, and then trying to play their way out the back and giving the ball away. In the centre areas, I think they've done really well and got good control of the game against some smooth operators, especially in James Venins against Braintree. But they're neither playing their way out, and the link up in the final third is just not quite there. If they can get it right though, Craig, they will cause some problems. It's just a few fine-tuning tweaks is the way to put it, isn't it?
As Pinnington's lost the ball here, and it's a nice reverse pass here, and it's Newton's got some space to break into the box. He's going to fire hard and low across the box, and no one was there, but Frankie Terry was not to know, and he's turned it behind for a set piece just before the half time here. Again, I don't think if Newton got his head up, there wasn't really anyone in there to play in. He's got a fortuitous corner as they've looked to get away with it quickly here, as Thompson, the captain, finds Whitehall, and Whitehall delivers, and Silla looked about to be pulling the trigger there, but it was taken off his feet, and Newton keeps possession for his team here.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest ending the half well here. Great turn, whether that was meant, and a little bit of a sighter there from the number 6 Hammond there. But again, there are positive signs there. They're just not quite getting it right at either end of the pitch, really. But if they can do, they will cause Braintree some problems. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any subs or any tactical tweaks at half time from the Nottingham Forest manager here. Only 1-0 down, and a mistake from Braintree, or a well-worked move, and they're definitely back in this game. Braintree are definitely not out of sight at the moment, and as you saw on Saturday going 2-0 up, they weren't out of sight then either. So Nottingham Forest will take hope into the second half. Braintree haven't had it there own way the whole half, Craig. But positive signs from Braintree, positive signs from Nottingham Forest. Overall, probably a fair result at the moment.
Absolutely, it's half time. It's Braintree Town 1, Nottingham Forest under 21s 0. We will see you in about 10 to 12 minutes once Michael's bought me a hot chocolate.
I wouldn't risk it on a home game, league game.
Number of half-time scores from around Europe. A full-time score is Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 2. In the National League Cup, in our group, in Group B, it's Forest Green Rovers 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, and Wealdstone 1, Leicester City 1. In Group A, it's Rochdale 1, Blackburn 2, Solihull 0, Burnley 0, Brackley 1, Manchester United 0, and Tamworth 0, Everton 0. In Group C, it's Sutton 0, Brighton 0, Truro 0, Fulham 0, and Woking 2, Southampton 0. And in Group D, it's Boston United 3, Sunderland 0, and Scunthorpe 0, Leeds United 1.
Are you happy with it?
Just a reminder, if you haven't booked your travel yet, with the Supporters Club, the away matches coming up at Eastleigh and Boston, you need to do so as soon as possible. There are very few seats left on the coach. And a reminder that our next match here is on the 27th of this month, at home to Gateshead with a 3 o'clock kickoff.
Right there. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll try and put them on.
The striker still is pretty tight, isn't it? Good player, isn't it? Yeah, really good. Yeah, really like him. Is he the one down there? Or is he like no? Has he got someone who's good?
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
The captain's been decent, right? And they had a bit of a bad match. The centre midfield, he battles well in there, but it's good defending. They're good operators. So,
I mean, like, other than the little bits, it's
pretty solid, isn't it? It just hasn't quite worked at this end. Like, Sinner's won a lot of headers, but there's no one been quite near him, or, you know. But there's definitely signs there, isn't there? You get one right. Yeah, Sinner's really. He's got a bit of everything, isn't he? He wins a lot of headers, doesn't he?
just needs a bit more service on him as well.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of good things, right? If you can get them minutes. How was your journey down, right?
Yeah, pretty quick.
Yeah. Are you going back home tonight? Or?
2.5 hours?
Yeah, it's been quite that time of night as well. Who's their next league game? I left it in the car because I thought, you know what, it's a 7 o'clock kickoff, so if it's 9 o'clock I'll be done, it won't even be chilly right then. Nope. I know. It was only about 2 weeks ago, I was in Cyprus and 30 degree heat. Come back to Italy.
Stop bringing the flask in. No worries. Welcome back to this National League Cup encounter where it is Braintree Town 1, Nottingham Forest 0. A Shea Cooper goal. Around 8 to 9 minutes in is the difference at the moment. In truth be told, not the most eventful first half here at the Rare Breed Meat Company Stadium. Kamara's shot was parried only into the path of Cooper by the Nottingham Forest keeper Campbell, and Cooper could only be more welcoming and turn the ball home, much to the Braintree Town delight early on here. I'm going to hand you over to Mike, who has got some scores from around the grounds.
Hiya there, just some National League Cup updates for you around the groups A, B, C and D, which I'll update you with now. National League leaders Rochdale are currently 2-1 down to Blackburn Rovers Academy. Solihull Moors, this is the latest there, they are 0-0 with Burnley. Brackley, just 20 minutes played in that game, they are currently 1-0 up against Manchester United under 21s there. 16 minutes played at Tamworth, and they are currently leading Everton to 1-0, sorry, and that is Group A. Group B, obviously Braintree are winning here 1-0 against Nottingham Forest under 21s. Half-time score, Forest Green are 1-0 to the good against Wolverhampton Wanderers under 21s, and the final half-time score in Group B is Wildstone 1, Leicester City under 21s 1. Group C, current Sutton 0, Brighton and Hove under 21s 0. A half-time score, Truro are 0-0 with Fulham, and 47 minutes played so far. Woking are 2-0 to the good against Southampton Academy, and that rounds Group C. Final Group D here, Boston are 3-0 and flying against Sunderland under 21s, and that's a half-time score there. And last year's National League Cup winners, Leeds, they are 1-0 to the good against Scunthorpe with 46 minutes played there. So around the grounds there, a few scores to keep you updated here, just as we are about to get the second half underway here. Braintree.
Thank you for that, Michael. That was really good. While Michael was doing that, I was scanning to see if there was any substitutes ready. It looked like both teams had all their full quotas, kind of just knocking the ball around very casually. So no changes to report here, and it remains 1-0. No changes, and hopefully an enjoyable second half in North Essex. It's turning rather chilly here right now, and as our cameraman is just getting on his gloves to warm himself up for the second half.
He knows the score, he's done this many times. We forget our gloves, he remembers his. He'll be smiling the whole half, standing to our right hand side here.
Still waiting for him to buy us that half-time drinks though, but we can dream. We can dream.
We can dream. Next time, as Braintree get the game underway here in the second half, all the way looking forward, a big diagonal. Brilliant header there from the Forest man. Silla again, tight touch there, but under real pressure there from Vennings. All the way back to Francis Clark, and back to his goalie here. Nice early touch of the second half from Mason Terry. Fired out towards Kamara. Flicked on, but number 5 Hawks here. Plenty of time on the ball here. They'll be looking to get their foot back on the ball as early as possible here and get some control of the game. Ever since the Braintree goal, really, they've settled down really well for us, and they'll be looking to hopefully just take it one step further and maybe create a little bit more of a threat going forward. But the same can probably be said for Braintree, really, Craig. After the goal, not a lot of attacking impetus from either side.
No, I'd have to agree with you there. It's not been the entertaining game that we hope, and obviously that can change very quickly as Vennings looks to come forward. Tries to play a little ball in to put Kamara into space, but it's well swept up there by the captain, and he's managed to keep possession for his team, and they've played a good interchange to get themselves a good angle to clip towards Silla, who holds it up very well and will now play to the right wing back. I'd like to see Forest a few more gambles as well. York played a similar formation on Saturday here, and the left and right centre backs of the three stepped into midfield very often and look to play and create overloads in there and create decision making for those Braintree midfielders, who dealt with it really well, but as they tired, it was probably one of them things that helped York turn the tide effectively, as Langston now looks at that diagonal ball in behind the fullback, and he finds Kamara well, and he's brought it down beautifully. and his eyes are lighting up for a shot, but instead he's cut. Once, twice, it's blocked. He did have Pennington on the overlap, but I think he fancied it after that turn, Michael. And Pennington maybe a little bit disappointed not to get the ball cut to him there, where he was in a very dangerous position to deliver the ball across the box.
Yeah, brilliant overlapping run. Kamara did work the yard for himself, and you don't mind it from the attacking players. When they work a yard, can they get their shot off? That's what they're there to do. So, but I'm sure next time, if that chance comes about, I'm sure Pennington will be looking for that ball as Trey Cooper here takes the corner just over to the far side here, whipped in, not the greatest of corners, and a really good defensive header from Hammond there. Really solid, allowing his team to get out. It will be a Braintree throw though, around halfway into the Nottingham Forest half here. Not the greatest corner there from Braintree. Great defensive work from Nottingham Forest as George Langston just trots over for one of his customary throws early on in this second half here.
Yeah, he'd be looking for a first and second connection, which Braintree did often make, but since about 20 minutes in, Forest have got a hold of this well and have made the first connection, as they have done there. And Pennington chooses to go home. It's a very good first header there from the number 5, Hanks, there with the first header. Just eases some of the pressure on his defensive comrades. Sharp turn there, and he's eventually been given a free kick there.
Yeah, plenty of tugs on the shirt there. I think the referee was just waiting to see if he managed to get out of the situation, but I don't think he was ever going to be let go. So it is a free kick for Nottingham Forest here. Craig, just going back to Braintree this season again, we've talked about them playing against a lot of the top teams in the league so far, but top scorer, they've really struggled to score in games. Top scorers this year, Lewis Walker with 2 goals, and he got them on the opening day of the season, I believe. And then Terrell Works, who on loan from Fulham grabbed 2 at the weekend against York. They are their 2 top scorers, Craig, and surely that's going to be something they're going to need to improve on, and quick, if they're going to get out of that relegation zone.
Yeah, they're obviously still struggling with the loss of some really key attacking players here as Kamara gets into a good position. So we'll come back to this, delivers a ball from Hubbard. It comes out to Amore, good cushion header. Hockey tries to ease his man under the ball. He's at half-hearted appeals for a penalty, so that's rather more up than out. And Kamara can't keep the ball in play after it's bounced off him. Pennington tried his best to keep it in, but yeah, goals have been an issue. They weren't free-flowing at any stage last season, but they had the magic of Cairo Lisby. Jermaine Francis got a few. Akinde, who hasn't got up and running this season, chipped in with 9 or 10. But yeah, it's a massive concern, and when they are a little bit more leaky perhaps than they were last season, that means they're going to have to score more goals, and that hasn't been the case so far. So yeah, worrying times. But Terrell Works obviously only played 1 game, can't play tonight because he's cup side, because he played for Fulham earlier this summer against Sutton and actually scored in this competition, so he can't play any part for Braintree in this competition. But yeah, 2 goals on debut, and if you've seen the highlights from Wednesday, from Saturday, he should definitely be free, as he missed a bit of a sitter. But as debuts go, not a bad one, but I reckon that miss kept him up at night. They'll be looking for the likes of Hubbard, Hockey, Kamara, Cooper, who's now got 2, but obviously both in this competition, so just chip in with a few more goals, and for Akinde to get off the mark as quickly as possible, and Walker to get back to fitness. Yeah, I think that's going to be key. He was really lively, Walker, at the start of the season, and looked like a real key player in terms of the goal scoring prowess. So a lovely back heel there into Vennings, comes inside the pitch, great touch. Oh, it's a big chance from Kamara. Really quick play there from Braintree, really smooth. So 1 touch passing, a lovely little flick there. A great chance though for Kamara, and surely hitting the targets there on his strongest left foot, which again we've talked about him wanting to get on there so many times in the first half. He'll be a little bit disappointed with that, Craig. Yeah, he's got to get over the ball. He's got under it, if anything, and it was aimed rather needlessly quite far over the bar, and it kind of killed what was a really good move. That was quite a cynical pull from Terry in front of us, but I think he's managed to get away with that one. It looked like it was the blind side of the referee, and I don't think the linesman just down to our right hand side there, just out of your camera shot, was any help whatsoever. So Braintree maybe just getting away with one there, as Hockey links up well. Trey Cooper here, who's started the second half very well after a positive first half, as Pennington is travelling down the right hand side, but well marshalled out here, playing back to Amore, who
has been really solid in there, Craig, today. He's allowed Vennings to make them passes, which he loves to do. As the captain, Langston, just gives that ball away. Silla makes the run forward. Number 11 just manages to keep on the ball there. Smith, much more positive. I think he was bringing it back there. Langston might again be lucky to get away with that one, but with Nottingham Forest getting away with one in the first half, he can maybe count himself lucky, or did he
unlucky,
end up
I'm afraid, Michael. He did pick up one. The referee had some time to think about it. As you said, it was the initial pull back, which then helped him create the tackling opportunity, which was timed really well, but it was the initial pull back, and you can probably say that is a little bit soft, but Smith was in a good position and could have broken had Silla making a good run in front of him as well. As Thompson here on the left flank here, looking to get a crossing opportunity in, hasn't managed to find the space himself, but I thought he'd helped his teammate find one, but they haven't yet found one, and they've kind of filtered out and they've had to reset. It's a heavy touch, and Hockey, who's done that a couple of times now, Mike, just come off a little bit shorter and played 1 or 2 touch passes. That seems to be more of his game than rather
definitely
that we've just seen there, where it's a long hopeful ball.
Yeah, the long hopeful balls are not working. He's not winning it aerially, and the ball he's not winning the races. So maybe coming short and linking up the play and trying to get his team further up the field may be the way to go. It's a little bit different to playing with John Akinde, where you can just fire it anywhere around him and he tends to hold people off. But a different style of game for Hockey, and maybe just a tactical tweak there from maybe Steve Pitt, just to try and get his striker in the game a little bit more. But yeah, Langston going into the book there, the first Braintree man into the book, I believe, early in this second half, so he'll just need to watch his step here. There's a ball just clipped over to Frankie Terry, but well cut out just below us by the number 7 Sinclair. Hopefully we see a little bit more down this Nottingham Forest right, Craig, after what was a pretty quiet attacking phase for them. I'd like to see the percentages of where they attacked, but I can't imagine there was much going on down there, right?
No, not at all. They've definitely tried to use a lot of Thompson and Silla, and the left wing back Newton has had a lot of the ball, but yeah, Sinclair will probably be asking to come out of his side a little bit more, and if he can link up with the striker of Silla.
Nottingham Forest get the game back underway, looking again for the big man Silla up front. That is definitely going to be a Nottingham Forest throw just inside the second half here. Nottingham Forest just up in the tempo a little bit, just trying to get the game going a little bit quicker, and I'm sure again that's something that their manager has spoken about at half time as they look to travel down this left. A little bit of miscommunication there, but it's good to see the left back getting forward there, Craig. They look like they're committing a few more bodies forward here. In that attack there was 4 or 5 which we haven't seen in the first half, so hopefully the instructions from the manager is get forward when you can, let's be brave, let's be positive, and let's try and get a goal here, because as the further this game goes on, the more they're likely to see if they can grab an equaliser here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Newton, the left wing back there, didn't seem to need too many invitations to go forward anyway. He's been, as we said, one of their probably brighter sparks, especially in that first half. Yeah, they might throw a bit more caution to the wind as the game goes on. They've got absolutely nothing to lose, and going for it is ultimately what everyone wants to see. You don't want to see a team accept a 1-0 defeat, or we might get a set piece. It'd be good to see if they throw a little bit of caution to the wind as the game goes on and make some attacking substitutions as well.
Yeah, Braintree just looking to get a little bit on the ball here. Kamara's been busy but unable to keep the ball there. A little bit of it wasn't a little bit, it was a very sloppy pass there. Again from Hockey, the striker, who's been very in and out of the game and probably not doing much to impress the boss Steve Pitt today if he wants to break into that starting 11 for the weekend's game, as the ball is pinged out here to Kamara, the ever lively Kamara, with Hubbard just overlapping him. Kamara just getting out battled there. Really good defensive work there from Nottingham Forest, who have been
played out lovely.
Yeah, really, really good. Oh, that is a pretty obvious trip, and I'll be surprised if Amore there doesn't get booked. And it looks like he's in really, really good from Smith. He's been really lively this second half, started really positive. He looks like he's closer, and I don't know if you saw, but as soon as he got the ball, Silla was on his bike, so clearly something they've maybe chatted about, trying to get Smith and Silla a little bit closer together. But that's 2 bookings now that they've picked up, and they might just be causing the Braintree backline a little bit more of a problem in the second half, Forest. So a positive start from them.
Yeah, it's Smith both times. He's managed to get beyond the man.
as a player goes down here, but the referee's not interested in it, and he's now given the soft one to the defensive team there, which you often see in that situation. It's been a better start from Smith. He's been more direct with the ball. He's committed defenders, and he's managed to get 2 of them on yellow cards. George Langston there, maybe a little bit lucky that Amore did get the yellow card, because he did kick the ball away straight after, but no real complaints from Forest. And as a football fan, you obviously want it to be 11 versus 11. You don't want someone getting sent off for kicking the ball away. And I don't think there was any kind of protest in there at all from anyone. Just something I noticed.
Now, for those of you who are keen fans of the National League on Dazen, if you are interested in watching Braintree, their next game is away to Eastleigh on Saturday, and that is a 3 o'clock kickoff there. This time next week they are away to Boston, and how important could that be come the end of the season?
I think they're actually on the Wednesday next week.
On the Wednesday next week, sorry, and that could be key, as they were both battling relegation last season. And their next home game is actually against Gateshead on Saturday the 27th of September, and that rounds up their games for the remainder of September, all available on Dazen. So if you are interested in the National League, please head over there. There's some great football to be watched at this level and standard, and if you're new to National League football, I think you'll be really surprised by the quality of football, the quality of teams that are available there for you to see. A lot of league teams there, Craig. Teams like York and your Forest Greens, who are battling to get out of
some big names in this, but you still can't beat an old-fashioned throwback. And we've got a long throw coming in here from George Langston, right on top of the keeper, who's claimed it extremely well. Do his confidence the world of good, and he's tried to set his man on the attack here, and he's got space to drive into, but Hubbard has managed to get goal side. Sinclair does find Smith, who we've talked about, and Hubbard and Sinclair are battling here, and Hubbard goes down, and in that position the referee always tends to favour the defensive player. It's good from Hubbard, good game management, but for me, sometimes they're looking for it more than it is actually a foul.
Yeah, Smith there just made it really difficult for Sinclair. He busted a gut to get out of his own penalty box. He must have ran nearly 90 yards of that pitch, and then he gets a little bit of a killer ball there from the lively Smith. But game management, as you said, really good there from Hubbard, and that comes with a lot of experience that I'm sure these Nottingham Forest youngsters will be keen to learn. As we said earlier, it's not always about the results for them. So again, keen learning experiences there. So number 8, Whitehall, who was yellow carded in the first half, doesn't win his header and hooked forward, and the lively Silla, I'm sure, will be eyeing this up here because they're a defensive mistake. Small touch, no real hesitation of a back pass there. So Langston looks for the big diagonal again, a little bit sloppy there from the Braintree captain, and Sinclair picks it up into the lively Smith here, and they've worked it out well. Out number 10 Thompson here manages to beat the offside trap. No flag there so far. A brilliant turn, really good, and it's driven low across the box, and it goes all the way out from a goal kick there. Brilliant play there from Smith, a really sharp turn in the box there, Craig. Silla just hung back there for a different option, but really lively going forward there, Craig. Much better from Forest.
Yeah, it does seem to this half. We've sung his praises quite a bit in this second half. Really, Smith, he seems to be playing a bit more narrow, a bit closer. Maybe there's slight tweak in formation, and he's playing more of the number 10 position behind 2 strikers, or 2 10s behind the 9 of Silla. But he's been the main man. He's had a good impact on the ball at the moment, and a good run. And like you said, if his strike partner gambled there, he could have had a tap in, but he's looked for the cutback instead. Just a miscommunication there. But yeah, Smith's looking really bright, and he'll be the man you expect that could unlock this door if he continues in this vein of form that he's had at the start of the second half.
Yeah, George Langston winning the header there, Amore winning the next flick on Braintree, winning the first, winning the seconds. Nottingham Forest win that. No free kick there on the captain here, as
here
Smith
he is in that
picks it up again. He's picking up some really good spaces. Silla's on his bike, but the overlap comes here from Sinclair down the right. More of an attacking threat from Sinclair. The cross comes into the box. Silla winding up. Good defensive play there by the Braintree captain Langston to clear his lines. Nottingham Forest winning the free kick there. Really smart play, and they're getting the game back under much better tempo from Forest, which I'm sure their manager will be pleased about. But again, Craig, we talked about the Nottingham Forest lack of right-hand side, but it seems to be more of a threat down here, and I think it's causing Braintree more problems now. They've got more to think about.
Yeah, I think as Smith, as we've discussed, has cut inside, as this player's made a lovely run, he's travelled a long way, and it has taken a nick on the way, and it will be a corner. It's a very, very positive run there from Hanks, I believe it was, and we talked about them centre-halves going to join in and creating overloads, and that's what he's done. He's actually created himself a good shooting opportunity, and the deflection has now created another opportunity from this corner. But yeah, as we were saying, Smith's tucked inside a little bit more, and it's actually given Sinclair a lot more space on this side, and he's doing good with it, and it's then giving Smith the pockets to playing inside as well. And you've got to say, if there's a goal coming in the second half of the minute, it does feel like it'll be a Forest one.
Yeah, number 8 here, Whitehall delivers in all the way across the box. Comes out, it's a rasping shot from the number 3, the left back Newton, but you would want him to probably shoot from there, not to give the ball away. As the subboard goes up, and it looks like Braintree are going to make the first substitution as James Vennings makes way for Gorham Babbage. Looks like a straight swap in the centre there. Probably smart, Craig, in terms of team management here. James Vennings, not long back from injury, has spent quite a few games on the sidelines. Gorham Babbage been in the team quite a lot here, so it's a smart substitution, Craig.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll come to that in a second, because Forest are now making one. Nwusu, who we believe was booked in the first half, is being replaced.
Number 4, Chinagwe, Nwusu. Number 17, David Mox.
And it's David Mox taking his place. I wrote his name down, but it looked like Max, and I was like, I'm sure that wasn't right, so I just thought I'd wait for the official confirmation, and it's David Mox here coming on.
And it looks like David Mox, yeah, it looks like he's slotting into the right-hand side of the back 3 there, with Sinclair just ahead of him here. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on, because the right-hand side, as we were just discussing, has been a much more of a focal point. So
yeah, perhaps a more progressive ball-playing centre-half who will step into the midfield a little bit more, which obviously with a centre midfielder coming off, it looks like the number 6, Hammond, has stepped into that midfield. There's an injury to Amore here, which the referee believes is a head one, so just a little bit of concern at the moment, and the physio will be coming straight on just to check that he is okay, which is obviously protocol, and rightly so for any head injury. Get the game stopped, get them checked, and then hopefully the player's okay to continue.
Yeah, I think Nottingham Forest did have the ball, but Frankie Terry using all the experience here, just holding on to the ball, making it look like it was theirs. But I think the referee, who we've discussed, has been really, really switched on, so I'm sure he's not going to fall for that. But it did look like Nottingham Forest had the ball, so I would be hopeful that the ball is played back to the Nottingham Forest players to get the game underway when we do get restarted, obviously. So just looking at them changes, Craig, is Steve Pitt just changing his man in the middle there just to keep him fresh for the weekend, or does he see an issue in there with Nottingham Forest really winning their midfield battles in there at the moment?
Yeah, I'd say it was almost a premeditated change. I think it's one that they've decided to do already. He's given Miranda the evening off, as it seems at the moment. He might get a few minutes. Vennings maybe needing that little bit more match practice, so getting about 63 minutes under his belt. And then obviously from there, Babbage, who played really well on Saturday, just getting a few more minutes under his belt. As you said, he's been in and out of the team. He managed to get a good start of the weekend and played well for the time he was on the pitch, but again, maybe lacking in fitness towards the end, so just get him some more minutes under his belt as well.
Yeah, really good. Just to update you around Group B, which is Braintree obviously are winning 1-0 here at the Redbreed Meat Stadium with around 65 minutes played. Forest Green are currently 2-1 up with around the same on the clock there against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Wildstone are still 1-1 with Leicester Academy, all around a 7 o'clock kickoff there, so they will all finish around the same time in Group B in the National League. Just as...
Yeah, Amore's now sitting up. It's taken a little bit of time. The physio's obviously taking all the correct precautions here just to make sure that he is okay. And at the end of the day, as we've said, player welfare is the most important thing. It's taken a little bit of time, but ultimately time is nothing compared to the player's safety. As Cooper helps him to his feet, and him probably just going for a few tests with the physio to make sure he is fit and ready to go again in a few moments.
Yeah.
Or it might be a case of Miranda...
Yeah,
or one of the two young lads potentially getting some.
Yeah, I think they
minutes.
might look potentially to a change, see how Amore goes. Obviously, We believe he is on the booking from the first half as well, so that might play into Steve Pitt's
early in the
mind.
second half,
Early in the second half, sorry. So that might play into Steve Pitt's mind. Maybe a little head injury, plus the fact he is on a booking. It might be something that he will be thinking about in due course. But Amore just down below us.
Yes, it's something we'll keep an eye on, and doesn't seem like Miranda's going through too much of a routine on there at the moment. There's a light one, so I think they're giving Amore every chance to continue.
Yeah, as Nottingham Forest look like they are about to get the game underway, and as they do, into Mox here, who has only been on a couple of minutes of playing time. He'll be looking to make an impact as the only Nottingham Forest substitute so far. Kamara looking to go forward, some great feet looking, and Hockey is chasing after that. Don't think he's going to get much luck. A little nibble there, and Nottingham Forest get the free kick, and they get the game straight underway here. And Hammond comes and receives the ball. Looks to drive into the space. They're doing that much better this half. Silla holding the ball up really well there. Really positive play. The pass a little bit under hit to Sinclair. It means he has to check back.
Well, I don't think he was expecting Amore to be there. He just got waved on at the worst time for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, probably not their luck there, but yeah, Forest just playing a little bit more progressive here, stepping into spaces a little better. Lovely ball over the top to Silla, just out of his reach there. Mason Terry on his toes and needed to be, but much more braver there. They're looking to find their striker quicker, and the passes are better, and the links seem to be there. A much more brighter half, and an opening 20 minutes of gameplay here.
It's a funny one, Michael, because Silla was a name we mentioned a lot in the first half. Since Nottingham Forest have improved, he's actually been a little bit quieter, I'd say. Smith's probably been the driving force in that midfield, and Hammond's looked progressive since he's gone in the midfield as well on the ball, as Fletcher Hubbard tries to break down this flank here and wins a throw, which it looks like, I believe, Langston will probably load very shortly. It'll be interesting to see if Braintree are looking to twist very shortly. They've just called the substitutes back in there to see if they're going to be making a change, just to see how Amore is doing perhaps, or maybe freshen up that front line with some more youth.
Yeah, they don't have many options on the bench like Miranda, the established player from Braintree, and then they have Harriman and Ivanov on the bench as well, so not much to gamble with here. So as the long throw flicked on here, Braintree just keeping it alive. Nottingham Forest just struggling to clear their lines a little bit here. Che Cooper looks at the back post, a brilliant save there from Campbell. Really redeemed himself after what will be a little bit of a disappointing goal to give away in the first half with that poor parry, but that was a brilliant save, a brilliant shot by Cooper, and that will give him the world of confidence, Craig.
Yeah, we talked about him not getting enough distance on this one. It was a strong hand away, a comfortable save. I think it didn't quite go as far away from him as Cooper had hoped. It had bent in maybe a little bit too much, but yeah, a strong hand, and like you said, that will do him some confidence now, as Cooper now delivers. First connection is by a Nottingham Forest head, but it will be another corner if it comes out the Burger van.
Yeah, good defensive header there from Silla, back there doing a good job just on the 6-yard box there, as Braintree will look to reload again through Che Cooper. George Langston just having a wander over, maybe having a little bit of a tactical talk there about what corner routine they are going to go with. Che Cooper here. Kamara offering the short option, but it doesn't look like that. He's floated in this time all the way to the back post. A little bit of scruffiness more than anything there, Craig. It peters out for a goal kick. A little bit disappointing. I'm sure that's something they haven't worked on in training, as Sinclair looks for the ball inside, deflects back to Mox here. He looks forward for Silla. Frankie Terry, loads of time on the ball. Babbage here, really good touch there. He's been really positive since he's come on, and he's had a good start to his Braintree career after what has been a tough start in the National League. George Langston just trying to get the ball down, trying to calm his team down here. It's a little bit frantic there in dangerous areas, as Hubbard in his own third here, just keeping the ball really well. Langston under pressure, gets lucky there though, and then switches out a beautiful pass into Kamara. Kamara here down the right hand side for Braintree. The Nottingham Forest left looks to beat his man under real pressure. Some really good defensive work there, and they clear their lines really well, which again, Craig, they struggled with in the first half. Hubbard picks it up here, back to Amore, who seems okay after the head injury. looks out to Hockey here, a good turn here, he's out on the left hand side, looks to cut down to the touchline, left foot, he drives into the box, brilliant cutback, Hubbard, and Shane Cooper, sorry, and it's a good defensive block here, and Braintree with a corner. Braintree just turning the tempo up a little bit here, Craig, and the chances are coming, Craig. Nottingham Forest just need to weather this storm.
Yeah, it was a good interchange between Cooper and Hockey. Hockey drifted out to the left, Cooper in central, and Hockey beat his man on the outside, which isn't something Cooper would do too much, and then set it back for Cooper. And it was a good block from the Forest man on the edge of the 6-yard box, as it was goal bound, but I think it would have been a comfortable save for Campbell. But yeah, Braintree maybe turning the screw here in the last 3 or 4 minutes or so, as Cooper looks to deliver into the 6-yard box. A good first connection by the defender, as Babic now gives it back out to Cooper, who will be looking maybe to get an angle to deliver. He's reset Babic, who now has that angle that we've just talked about, and hangs it out towards the back stick for George Langston to attack. He's headed it down well to Kamara, but Kamara's touch has let him down, and defender's right on him now, and it's kind of fizzled out there. And now Braintree will be looking to defend this, as Forest lovely beat the press there quite quickly and has got some space to travel into, and he's been eased out well by Babic in the end. I think Francis Clark gave him a little nudge and Babic stole the ball, and maybe this game might get a little bit more open as it remains 1-0. Langston tries to play that ball into Hockey, but it's the first connection is a Nottingham Forest head, and now they are looking to play again.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest just not quite making the right decisions here. Smith looking to get onto the ball, but Francis Clark defending well there and clearing his lines. It's just the final third, Craig, for Forest at the moment. Even then, they just couldn't get it right in the transitions. They're winning the ball, they're breaking fast, and then the decision making's just not quite there. Whether to pass, whether to dribble, it's just not there. But if they can get one right, as we have discussed, I think they could grab a goal here, as the game becomes a little bit stretched, and I'm sure that always suits the team that's losing. They want to grab a goal if Braintree decide to open up a little bit. But Braintree been on top the last 5 minutes, but Nottingham Forest look to whip in the free kick. Not the greatest of free kicks there, and Pinnington clears his lines. Hubbard chasing under it, managed to get under it there. Good Kamara, he's not going to reach that with Whitehall. Just clearing his lines, and it's going to be a Braintree throw just inside the Braintree half here, as the game just settles down a little bit after what was a busy 5 minutes or so, Craig, especially from Braintree's point of view. But with the game still 1-0 here, both teams will fancy that they can grab the next goal and maybe change the tide of this game. George Langston, a little bit of pinball in the area, and I'm sure George Langston will just head that back to Terry.
Yeah, Mason Terry again, nothing really to report on his goal. He's not, I don't think he's had a shot to save yet. So Forest have looked good in times, but again they haven't got that cutting edge that we've discussed so far. And as a game we've talked about it, the spectacle hasn't been magnificent so far, but it's good to see some intriguing tactical battles in there, and what both managers can do to either cement the league or put a massive dent in it as they break forward here through Mox. We find Silla, who must now be breaking into the box after a slightly heavy pass there out wide, and Newton couldn't get it under control. I think he maybe was thinking about already spinning into the box, and the pass was slightly overhit for Newton.
Yeah, good play from Silla, just linking up there, offering a short ball and the ball out. Didn't quite work there for Nottingham Forest, who currently, if you're anyone interested in the Premier League 2 there, Nottingham Forest are currently 14th out of 29, so they're about mid-table. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss so far. Only 3 games played there so
Sinclair
far.
Gets the ball on this left-hand side, cuts it across the box, but it comes to nothing, and Babic with a good bit of space after a good interchange with Hubbard, and he gets Kamara one-on-one, and this is where he wants to be, and Forest are aware as that as 2 other players come rushing over. He still tried to beat his man on the outside, but it's defended superbly there, and it will be a Nottingham Forest goal kick. He managed to force Kamara onto his weaker outside there and just stepped in front, and it's really good defending.
Yeah,
he's
really
been put
good
under a little bit of pressure there, but he's actually managed to sweep the ball forward well as well, and it's given Newton a good chance here to travel over the halfway line. Unfortunately for them, that Thompson went a little bit early, then went and then came back and was given offside by the female assistant down to our right hand side here.
Yeah, really good defending by Hanks. just 30 seconds earlier. Maybe he's worked out that Kamari's very one-footed and showing him down the right-hand side. That petered out pretty quickly. So smart defending there from the Nottingham Forest backline, who have done well overall. They haven't given too much away to Braintree. A good save around 5 minutes or so ago by Campbell from Che Cooper. And a couple of half chances, the one that Kamara flashed over the bar when he probably should have done better. But they haven't given too much to Braintree. This game in particular, really, not just this second half. As Braintree look to, again, go down the right-hand side. Very attack-heavy. That is going to be a Braintree free kick. I think that pull was a little bit more obvious there from Newton. It allows Braintree to load in the box. But, Greg, similar to what we had with Nottingham Forest in the first half, where they were lacking down the right-hand side, Braintree don't seem to have a lock down the left-hand side this time.
No, Cooper's definitely been drifting a little bit more inside. And Hockey sometimes doesn't to fill that void. But, yeah, Kamara seems to be the outball, but yeah, maybe needs to add a little bit more variety to his game, because the Nottingham Forest seem to have his number at the moment as Cooper looks to deliver this one. He's delivered it to the back stick. It's come out to Hockey on the edge. His touch has let him down slightly, but he's managed to just keep possession in there well in the end, and has used a Moray, who will be forced backwards, I imagine, here to Babic, and Babic across to Jacob Pennington. Under a little bit of pressure, Forest feel like they're going to squeeze a little bit more, put a little bit more pressure as it's gone back to Mason Terry, who plays long. Kamara's under it and kind of wins the first connection. It's a good ball through to Hockey. Hockey tries to lift it over the keeper, and it's a good save from Kamara. It's a lovely ball from Hubbard to Hockey, and Hockey tried to lift it, but the keeper read it well, and it's a good save. And this game is starting to open up a little bit here.
Yeah, brilliant save there from Campbell. Hockey's real first chance in front of goal. He doesn't take it. How costly could that be, with the game, as you said, Craig, just opening up a little bit now. Both teams having a little bit more options going forward. Seems to be some more tied legs, and there looks like there could be a goal in this game here. But with Braintree just winning 1-0, they'll be hopeful it is them, as there is a little bit of movement on the benches at the moment, so we might be visiting that in a moment.
It's a good ball into Smith, who's picked up that pocket again, and Moxie, as we talked about, is now joining that attack from that right centre-back position. It's well defended by Frankie Terry, who then wins the free kick as well from Sinclair, as the official down in front of us is waving the flag just to indicate to the referee there was a pull in there that stopped him getting the ball. It looks like it could be Miranda in a moment, I believe, making an impact for Braintree, and then it could be 2 or 3 from Forest very shortly.
Substitution for Braintree Town, replacing number 20 Fletcher Hubbard.
Number 20 Fletcher Hubbard is
replacing
being
number 20
replaced
Fletcher
here
Hubbard is number 38 Brandon Harriman.
Brandon Harriman, one of the youngsters coming on here for a taste of National League Cup football there. So Hubbard just getting a bit of a rest, so it'll be interesting to see where Harriman comes in. Changes for Nottingham Forest here. We're just awaiting the official.
Replacing number 8 Archie Whitehall, number 16 Blaine McClure.
McClure is replacing him in the central
replacing
midfield.
Number 10
Callum Thompson is
number
coming
18
off and
Danny
being replaced
Anishko
by Anishko, the number 18 there, and we believe that is it at the moment. We was expecting 3 from Forest, but that is 2 made there. Again, we'll keep you up to date if there's any more changes along the way, but changes for both teams here. It'll be good to see the new Braintree man just in the number 10 slot here. But some changes, and hopefully positive ones from both sides.
Yes, it's always nice to see different players getting a run out in these kind of competitions, and for Harriman, hopefully he'll be able to make a bit of an impact, probably very excitable to start, will make a lot of runs, and hopefully stretch the Nottingham Forest team as well. As the ball's played in over the top, I don't think Hockey was potentially getting on the end of that anyway, and no real protest from anyone other than him there, but he's up on his feet trying to pressure the ball as well. But yeah,
good solid defending there from Thompson, got his body across nice and strong.
It looks like Harriman, though, Michael, will come onto this left hand side with Cooper going into the 10, who's on the ball now and manages to find Hockey. Can Harriman break the box at the back? Cooper's trying to get in there as well, so it's Pennington, and instead it's played against the defender for a corner. But it was a good run from Hockey, obviously minutes have been tough for him this season after he's moved from just down the road from Chelmsford City, moving up one level and probably maybe using it as a learning season to learn off the likes of Akinde and Walker and get that experience at full-time football, which he hadn't had before as well.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he's just lacking a little bit of match sharpness here as Braintree. The corner is whipped in, the first header is flicked on. Nottingham Forest managed to clear their lines. The substitute here, Harriman on the ball. Plays the ball out, lovely little 1-2. Amore still on the pitch at the moment. Frankie Terry. Silla there just coming across and doing some defensive work. Been really impressed with his overall game today. Not as potent going forward in this second half, but he's worked really well for the team and he's shown lots of good things that I'm sure would have impressed his manager today. He will be one that is definitely on the eye, maybe further up the tree for some chances at Nottingham Forest as they look to get the game underway here. Still plenty of time for both teams. Can Braintree grab that second goal that will surely kill the game, or Nottingham Forest going to try and grab that equaliser and push us onto penalties? Mox here just getting the throw. It looks like he's going out for a Braintree throw here. The game just having a little bit of a lull here, and Amore comes in and that looks like that has gone out, and that is going to be a Nottingham Forest throw just inside the Braintree half here.
Brandon Harriman, I'm just getting a bit of knowledge, came through Brentford and Hull, was in their youth teams. He's just 19 years old, so one potentially for the future, or just an additional number for the team at the minute as well, with the numbers a little bit short due to that injury crisis. So it'll be interesting what he can do on the ball with a poor touch there. Oh, it's a poor pass, and it's put Cooper in a good position. Can he put Kamara in? He's chose to go on his own at the minute, and it's deflected. It was going very far wide anyway, but it's hit the defender on the way. And again, we talked about that decision making in the first half in that situation from Nottingham Forest. Again, Cooper probably made the wrong choice there and maybe should have exposed Kamara one-on-one against his defender.
Yeah, I think his eyes lit up a little bit. He picked up a stray ball there from Sinclair, I believe, and he drove at the back line of Forest, and his eyes lit up after his first goal early in the first half. But he trots over here to take the corner. The corner again a little bit short and easily cleared there by Hammond, as number 11 there, Smith, manages to win his throw. He's just quieting down a little bit in the last 10 to 15 minutes. I think the impetus got out since that Amore sort of head injury. Nottingham Forest lost their way a little bit. It probably came at the wrong time for them, unfortunately, but obviously player welfare was the most important thing there, and it's good to see Amore back on and playing it. A free kick won there by Kamara, around 35 yards from goal, so it looks like a free kick routine unless they decide to play quick, which they don't.
They do now, and they play wide to Pinnington. And Pinnington looking to cut in, and he's beat his man. He's going to get his shot away. He's fired it home, and it's a good save. Strong hands by the goalkeeper, and he's pushed it into a good space this time where he can collect the second ball. But yeah, Forest will be looking to get on with it now with probably 6 minutes plus additional time, maybe slightly less than that left now. So they'll be starting to maybe take a few more risks going forward, as they've lost the ball again here. Maybe some tired legs in that Forest youthful teamers. Babic takes maybe too many touches there and the ball is turned over, but they've got back into a good shape here, Braintree, as Sinclair tries to break down this right. He's got numbers around him from Braintree, but he's played a good ball inside, but it's been crowded out well by Amore, who just clips the channel for Hockey. Hockey tries to turn his man and it bounces off himself for a Forest throw-in. As we said, defenders may now be trying to step into midfield a little bit more. That's what he tried there, but he hasn't really got any forward passes, so they will come all the way back. And it was good work there from and we'll be getting Michael's man of the match just after the stoppage time board goes up in a few minutes, as there's a heavy touch here, forces him back. And Forest here not quite being able to play through the lines as they wanted, although the wing back has made a good run here, and I think that was where the ball's actually ended desired to go, but Anjenko ended up cutting out himself. As Kamara here breaks down there, and it's a chance for Cooper. Can he beat his man? Though he's kind of slowed the attack down there when actually he had men in the box there, so it was an interesting choice there from Cooper. Maybe a bit of sticking for the 1-0 rather than going for the jugular there, as it's gone all the way back here to George Langston.
Yeah, a little bit surprised there. There was a couple of people in the box. He could have whipped it across, but decided to keep the ball. As Frankie Terry looks to break forward, he's breaking down strong. This is one of his real important parts of his game. He's really good at it as he plays back to the substitute Harriman here, who's just looking to try and work a yard all the way back to Francis Clark, who whips a long, hopeful, looping ball into the box. Kamara gets underneath it after it being misjudged by Newton. Kamara manages to win the throw on. And again, it's just the way the game's gone today. It's been a bit stop-start. It's been a bit lacking in real quality overall, Craig, I think, from both teams.
Yes, Cooper's got some space for a delivery, and it's well cut out. Again, his final ball hasn't been the best day, but he has pinched it well there. And I think half-hearted appeals mainly from a few in the crowd for a penalty there, as the ball's tried to be played in for Silla, but it's swept up by first Francis Clark and then Langston, and Braintree now looking to spring forward, and it's a poor pass. And it's well cut out by Newton, and that's firmly stuck in those trees behind the dugouts, as Marley Miranda will be making
substitution for Braintree Town, replacing number 19, Freddie Hockey, number 8.
Miranda maybe knocking on the nose door and asking for a little run up front here, or a slight change to formation here, perhaps, with maybe Cooper playing his third position now as a false 9, I'd say, rather than your traditional number 9.
Yeah, I'm sure they're just looking for that bit of experience in the centre of midfield, just to shore it up. A couple of minutes in the legs for Miranda, who's, as you said earlier, Craig, he's been really important. When him and Vennins play together and play well, Braintree tend to do well. So they'll be looking to wrap them two in a little bit of cotton wool, hence the reason they've had a little bit shorter minutes today for the pair of them. But Miranda just looking to try and see this game out for his team with not many minutes left. We still haven't seen the refs board here. We're expecting at least 4 minutes, but we will update you in due course, as Nottingham Forest look to end the game strongly here. The lively Silla just linking up again. A poor touch from Forest, and Babic makes his way out. He's got Harriman just down to his left. He's isolated Mox 1-on-1. Cuts inside really well. Really positive. Just got stuck under his feet a little bit. Maybe a little slip on his feet. In we go here. Che Cooper looking to curl one into that far corner, but I don't think it was ever really on, as Miranda just smashes the ball into the Nottingham Forest centre midfielder. Nothing going on there. It looked like a trip. Harriman just taking a positive touch, trying to get it onto his left foot. It looked like a good tackle in the end, and that has gone out for a goal kick in the end. Really, really good defending. A few half-hearted appeals there, I think, from the Braintree bench for a potential penalty, but it looked like he got just enough of the ball and played it off of the Braintree man. But Craig, good to see Harriman, first appearance for Braintree, getting involved early, and they seem to be trusting him and letting him express himself.
Yeah, he's picked up a couple of good spaces there. He looked like a player that maybe hasn't played too
The
much.
fourth official is indicating there is a minimum of 6
As we
minutes.
announced 6 minutes,
additional
there
minutes.
was Silla in an offside position there, which I think frustrated a few of his teammates there, as it's now killed that momentum, as there is only obviously 6 minutes remaining in this game, as Major Terry bowls the ball out to Aidan Francis Clark into Manny Amore. Francis Clark, it's a poor pass, and Nottingham Forest will be looking now to get on with it. A reminder, if they do score, and of course only score one, we have seen late goals here at the Rare Breed Meat Company Stadium, it will be a penalty shootout afterwards for the additional point. But there's still 6 minutes for plenty to happen, we hope, in this game. As the ball is forced back, and here the centre half seems to be going on a little bit of an adventure up to the left wing, and I think he's going to have to chase that himself to keep it in play, although Langston will then clip it long and hope that Braintree can fill that gap. There is number 16 has filled in very well, which is McClure. Langston tries to head it down to Pinnington, and Pinnington can only flick it back into play, but has found Miranda, who is caught late, and there's apology straight away from the Nottingham Forest player, who just caught him a little bit late there. Nothing too malice in it, just a little bit late there from the Nottingham Forest player. I think they actually managed to lose his shin pad in the moment as well, McClure. But Michael, as we approach the closing stage of this game, obviously there may still be one more twist or turn. Who is your National League Cup man of the match today?
Yeah, been a bit of a difficult choice. Not been many standout players. Obviously, Che Cooper grabbed the goal, but I've been really impressed with the job that Amore has done in the centre of midfield. Hasn't had too many minutes in there, especially with Miranda and Vennins in front of him. But I think he's done really well to protect his back four. He's kept the ball really well. I don't think he's given the ball away much at all today. He's been a really strong physical presence in there. I just think he's done a really, really solid job in an area that Miranda tends to pick up a lot of suspensions and Vennins does pick up a few injuries. So if they can have a really good backup in people like Babbage and Amore, it gives them really good options in the centre and out midfield. So yeah, been really impressed with what Amore's done. He's gone about his work quite quietly and just done everything really simply and kept Braintree ticking. So he is my National League Cup man of the match tonight, with around 3.5 minutes left. Not too long now, as it looks like Braintree have won the throw.
Yeah, Langston's put his foot through it and he's got a lovely deflection on the way, and it's actually bought Braintree not only possession but the time here, just to show their game management here and see this game out. And it will be a much needed win for them. Obviously, if you could ask them hand on heart, would they prefer it in the league or in this competition, they'd always pick the league. But sometimes this competition can be good for just stopping that spiral of defeats, which it looks like it might be the case in a minute, although Langston has slightly lost that one. But he's been bailed out by his partner there, Francis Clark, who's knocked it long. And Harriman was just eased under the ball there, but has eventually won the throw-in off Mox.
Yeah, I think 1-0, if it ends this way, Craig, is probably the fair result overall. I don't think Forest have done enough at the top end of the pitch, unfortunately. They've shown brighter sparks this second half, especially in the opening 15-20 minutes, but it's definitely tailed off for them. And Braintree have been professional. They grabbed the early goal and they've never really looked back from there, and they've probably looked the more likely to grab a second if there is going to be one. As we approach the final couple of minutes here, Silla still trying to link up with his team as the number 16, and that is a pretty cynical booking there from what I can assume is Marley Marshall Miranda. Really positive from McClure there, driving through, and that is the sort of bookings that he unfortunately picks up quite a lot of. But it was a very, very dangerous position there, and probably one that his team will be thankful of him picking up this time, Craig.
Yeah, I believe that's his 6th or 7th of the season already. 5 in the National League if our sources are correct, so he will be due a suspension in the league slightly. It might be 1 or 2 short of that, because I'd be surprised if he wasn't starting today, if he'd be suspended at the weekend. But yeah, he kind of had to do that one, but at the same time it was a little bit needless as well. The ball's delivered into the box, Francis Clark eased under it and just flicks it along, and Harriman cannot prevent the corner, so it will be a Forest corner in it. And they have taken it quickly, and it's quite a poor touch, but it's changed the angle. It's a good delivery, it's gone right across, and it's turned away just by Langston. It was a very wicked delivery from McClure, and there were men running in and none of them could get the touch apart from the Braintree captain George Langston, who got the touch. And again, they're looking to change the angle again very quickly here, and McClure, who whipped in a very nice ball just then, has got a second opportunity, although the angle's not with him, so he's recycled it. It's kind of fizzled this one out, and Pennington will look to clip it down that channel, and that feels like that might be that. I'd expect them maybe to throw a little bit more at them set pieces, Michael.
Yeah,
maybe
I think
throw something into the box and see what can happen.
Yeah, when they got that second corner over the far side, I was expecting them to load the box, but they played it quick and Braintree was switched on. I think they were trying to catch Braintree napping, and Braintree were not going to fall for that one, and it's a shame really, because they looked really positive there. Thompson almost getting onto the end of that wicked cross and stabbing home a late equaliser. But Nottingham Forest do have a free kick here in dying embers of the game. They are loading the box this time. They have loaded it. It's gone high. Silla at the back post. It's gone underneath. A little bit of pinball in there, all the way out to number 17 Mox, who drives it in, tries to keep the battle alive, and that's gone into Mason Terry, and he cannot take too long now. He cannot run the clock down as he used to. He will need to get the game going pretty quickly, and that sees the end of that game, Craig. A good result, not the spectacle we were hoping for, especially after the Braintree's weekend, but I think they'll be quietly happy with the result in the end.
Yeah, not one for the highlights reel here today. A fairly quiet game, but it has finished Braintree Town 1, Nottingham Forest under 21 nil, and that's 2 wins from 2 from Braintree and National League Cup. And for me, you can't ask any more than that. Michael, it's been a pleasure as always, guys. All the best. Have a safe evening, and we will see you again soon.
Good night.
I'm watching it.